drove me nuts. Ah! Hello, hi friends. I am here and I am ready to see Companion. Oh my god, this film, it's just coming out this week here in Australia. I'm seeing an advanced screening, which is for general public today, and I am so mad already. Back when I had 2 videos about my most anticipated films of the year, this one was very high, and a lot of people told me not to watch the trailer, so I avoided the trailer in full, but then headlines took the trailer and put it into words, basically, and so it's kind of been spoiled for me, but I've been told the setup and what is established in the trailer, even though they could have hid that part, it is revealed early on. But I haven't watched the full trailer. It's just upsetting because of that, and I'm telling you, it's not even just that. I have seen so many people post about this film, trailers, or pictures, stills. I'm gonna call out someone very specifically. Zach Kreger, director of Barbarian, posted a teaser trailer and said, go in blind. This film is fantastic, go in blind. Dude, I'm trying. I just wish the marketing was more clever, but I don't know, it's fine. It will be fine. The film stars Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid, and Lucas Gage. The horror thriller is about a weekend away at a billionaire's estate, which goes completely wrong after a revelation into who is truly among them. I'll see if I get that right. I'm trying to twist together what I know and not reveal it to you. I'm gonna keep this video spoiler free and let you know whether it's worth your time going to the cinemas to see it. It's directed by Drew Hancock, but it is produced by Roy Lee and Zach Kreger. I don't know why they just don't give us the poster. They have to say, go in blind and then put a trailer. That's so silly. How can I go in blind if you're showing me the trailer? I don't understand. How much more blind can we get? We watch the trailer, we hear all of the PR that you guys are putting out, and then you tell us don't look at it? I don't get it. Anyway, let's go check it out. I've waited long enough and I want to see, even if you know what's happening in this film, if it's still worth a watch. Let's go. Also, I am walking to the cinema today, so come with me for a walk. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. Obviously I walk back home. I'm only 10 minutes away, so this is still very fresh. I'm just not gonna do it on the streets. But that was a very different experience. And I will say, when I was walking home, I watched the trailer on my phone, and holy shit, it gave away everything, so much more than I thought. You think I'm precious about spoilers, which I am. I know I'm very precious about them, but that trailer shows so much. And there are a lot of twists and turns, which basically that's what the film, you know, the marketing around the film was like, this is like the most twists and go in blind. But the trailer really does show everything, and you can work everything out from it. But I did think it was really interesting going in with just the nugget I had, because I only knew a little bit, basically what is written in most places, but I only knew a little bit. And hearing the different hints towards that, it was almost like watching a film for the second time when you know the twist. So it was a really interesting first watch for that. And I would say with the performances, the tone, and kind of where it goes, it was really fun to watch unravel, even though everything that I didn't know felt very predictable after I knew the initial piece of information. But I still think it is worth your time because the performances are that good. Jack Quaid, even though Nepo royalty, I still think he is fantastic. I'm a huge lover of The Boys. He's just so charming and charismatic in everything he does, and I love him. Even though he's like, I wouldn't say playing the same character, he doesn't stray too far. I would really like to see him in something completely different. I feel like he does very similar roles, but it was really cool for him to kind of dip his toes into horror. I know a lot of people are gonna complain that this is not a horror movie. Horror movies, they don't have to be defined by one particular aspect. In fact, we have the most subgenres, but I would say this is more like horror thriller, but there is a lot of great gore, which I very much appreciated. So I think I will stick to my initial description. It's about a bunch of friends who go to a billionaire's lakeside house, and then violence ensues when someone discovers not everything is as it seems. I think that might be a little bit more broad. I will say this is an interesting film because I do think there's been a lot of other movies around this subject matter and the layered complications, I guess. I felt like even though we have seen this story before, it didn't feel too original, especially after knowing what was going to happen. It didn't feel too original in that respect. It was almost kind of like Black Mirror-ish and something else. I don't want to say what that other thing is, but I felt like it did it better than a lot of the other attempts at this situation, and I felt like they really covered a lot of ground with thought-provoking conversations that come out of it, but they also kept it quite fun and light, and the pacing in it was really what had me. Usually when I'm watching a film, I'm kind of thinking, oh my God, when am I gonna score this? I don't know why, I just always think about that if I have like a moment to breathe. And this film, I didn't have a moment to breathe the entire time. It was really quick. Although, if I have to be nitpicky, which I will, at the very end, I felt like it got a little bit soapy, and because they had set everything up and it was around this ginormous concept and this twisted concept, I felt like it was hard to get the perfect ending. So I don't think it's imperfect, the ending, but I just felt like it could have ended 100 different ways. It didn't feel that poetic to me compared to a lot of other points that they hit along the way. I think the scripting in this film is fantastic. Like I said, obviously knowing stuff going in and choices they made in that regard, I felt like it was really fun and clever. Also, just the casting. The film is bright and fun and gory. You know, it's like got all of those aspects without being a slasher. It's got all of that fun element of danger. So it kind of, you know, on the edge of your seat thrill. And the reason I say thrill is because I did not find the film scary at all. I don't know if the stakes were quite low, but it just wasn't scary, and the way it's set up, and I guess revealing everything, and it does reveal a lot of things very early on, revealing everything, it didn't have that element of surprise. Like I said, with a slasher, you're wondering like who done it, but this one, I mean, you're trying to put together the pieces, but at the same time, the danger is very clear where it lies. So I don't think it is scary, but what I did find very surprising is I felt like it had like a little disturbing edge because of the subject matter and pulling that in. It definitely was more emotional and sad than I expected. I almost teared up at one point. I felt like that was a really good underlying message, or not really good, but more troublesome underlining message, and I enjoyed that. But as I said, the tone was still lighthearted, so I felt like it was the perfect balance of both. People were cackling the whole time in the cinema, and for good reason. It's meant to be fun, it's meant to be edgy and slick, and it definitely is all of that. It's a very modern film. I think it's a fun film to see at the cinema, even if you've seen the trailer, I'm still very disappointed. I honestly thought I'd watch the trailer afterwards and I'd be like, no, there's still more, but I really feel like they show a lot of like kills and things like that in the trailer, and I just find that to be really unfortunate, especially if you do have a good premise and you do have such, you know, big stars. Like obviously Jack Quaid's huge, and Sophie Thatcher is really getting up there, and I just don't know why they did that. It makes me so angry. I said I was gonna stop talking about it. It just drove me nuts. But all in all, it's a very bright and fun and moving experience, and I love movies that really just put you through all of that. If you don't like comedy, or if you don't like tonal changes, or you can't get into a horror movie or a thriller because of that, I understand if it's not for you, but I think it's just a really fun movie to see with a bunch of friends, and there's some good conversations to be had for sure. It's a very self-aware film. And I will say, a lot of people, as soon as the end started, they left, but just watch through just the start part of the credits, because there's kind of like a scene that is interwoven in that, just the very start part of the credits, but I recommend watching that. All in all, I really enjoyed this film. I did feel like the end, they didn't really know how to complete it, or it wasn't as smart as the start or the middle, but I honestly don't know how to change that. I don't know where they would have gone with that. It did feel like there was almost like one scene too many in there, but I'm still gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. It's just so sad because I feel like it would have got across the board so much praise if so much wasn't revealed, and it's really sad. Oh my god, I'm talking about it again. Shut up. For originality, I'm gonna give it a 4. And for scare, I'm gonna give it like maybe a 4 for just the violence, for the bloodshed. I can't say the G word too many times. I've said that a couple of times in videos, but just so you know, I'm not trying to censor myself. I just don't want this video to be by YouTube. I really liked that department. I was worried that there wasn't gonna be enough of that, but there was some good stuff. So definitely, if you're into that, I'm into it too. I was going between a 7 and an 8, but I really want to hear what you guys have to say. Let me know down in the comments. And I have a very special video coming out this week where I talk about some very controversial takes I've had. So I can't wait for you guys to see that. And then also, I just want to say later in the week, I will be seeing Presents. I know it's out in America. We have it late, but I'm going to the first screening I can see. So I can't wait to take you guys along for that as well. So I'll see you then. Subscribe if you like horror. I'm always here. I'm always ranting and hopefully raving. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye guys.